Hey guys, good morning. Thanks for jumping on, and we will get started right at 1 o'clock. So again, thanks for jumping on, and we'll see everybody in a couple minutes. Good morning, or actually good afternoon to everybody. We will get this started in about 2.5 minutes, and we still got several jumping on, so we will get this started in about 2.5 minutes. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. It is 1 o'clock. I'm going to give it about another 60 seconds. I'm still seeing some people come in, and then we will get this started. So again, thanks for jumping on. We will get started in about 1 minute just to give everybody a chance to jump on our call. All right, good afternoon, everybody. We are going to go ahead and get this started. Again, thank you for jumping on today. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kelly Haney. I have the privilege of being part of our team here at Mortgage Financial, oversee our lock desk team as well as a lot of our systems, integration, and improvements. So with that, we're going to get started. A couple things during the call. If you have any questions, you can utilize the chat or the Q&A feature within the Teams webinar. I will be monitoring this, and we will dive in and answer any questions. So please ask. We do want this to be a very open conversation, and there is no silly questions. So with that, I'm going to get started. Today's focus is our portal. We call it TPO Connect. A lot of times you would hear MFS TPO, and we're going to navigate the portal. We're going to do some live examples. But I do want to go over just small print. This is a informal blah, blah, blah. They make me put this on here just to cover my hot sports opinions may not reflect mortgage financial and other people, but and again, this is not intended for end consumer use, but mortgage professionals. Here's our agenda for today. We're going to dive into the actual system, and what we're going to be doing is how to upload a file in the portal. We have a couple options that we have: how to pull your credit and or reissue credit, run AUS, how to do pricing within the file, how to pull your title fees, how to enter your fees and request the loan estimate to ensure that your initial LA goes out in a timely manner, where and to upload files to get it into underwriting, and how to actually submit it to our processing team, and where and how to view your conditions and upload conditions. And then finally, we're going to talk about the request, the closing disclosure as well. We're going to talk about our minimum standards, which I want to talk about real quick before we go in the portal. So in order to get a file through our system, you know, we don't want the entire file. We understand you're building it. There's a lot, but we do look for some critical items to having a smoother experience within our underwriting team here at Mortgage Financial. The probably most important thing we need is a cover letter. Tell us the story of the file. This is a conventional purchase, 20% down. Let us know what the story is. If there's anything unique about the file, they're getting a gift, they're transferring. Tell us a story so that way the underwriters are not having to go on a scavenger hunt and understand the basis and the blueprint of the file. 2 years of income documents. Little asterisk, of course, if your AUS says different, but majority loans, we need 2 years of documentation. Assets. We understand you may not have all the assets at the initial submission, but just let us know where and the plan for the funds. If it is coming from a gift source, we want to know that up front because that makes an impact, and within the AUS engines is a level of risk. And we don't want to get all the way to the end that they had money in a checking savings and then it's actually a gift and then the loan may not qualify. Obviously, if it is a purchase transaction, we would love to see the purchase contract. Other docs that you feel we need up front, but these are really the core minimum items up front to really to have a smooth process at the beginning. So we're going to jump into our website, our portal that we refer to. And let me reshare my screen here. So our website is mfstpo.com. Once you go here, there's a couple things I'm going to point out to you. Those of you looking for VA sponsorship, if you do VA loans, you can click this link right here. It will take you to the information you need to be able to get that fee paid and get approved. The Resource Center has some documentation for you guys on USDA, FHA, some links to the seller guides that you can always reference. And I'm going to jump into the portal here. So I'm going to hit login. Takes you to this portal page where you're going to log in. You should have received your password via the system and or your account executive. If you ever forget your login, because we understand that happens, just send an email to your account executive. They can reset you, or you can actually utilize this forgot password right here. On this page, if you hit forgot password and your registered email account, you can reset it as long as your account has not been disabled. If that does not work, just email your account executive and they will be able to get you set up pretty quick. So what I want to do today is once you have logged in, I've logged into our file. Up here's our announcements. We publish anything major that's going on, any changes to any of our internal systems or agency updates. If you go right here to your pipeline, you can open up your pipeline and see, and you got different buckets of where your files are, your active locked active, not locked, that you can navigate. If like, man, what's going on with that loan? It's been approved. You can go right here. On the welcome page, any of your recently accessed loans would be available right here. Up here at the top is the ability to do a quick pricer within our system. So if you're just wanting to price a loan, this is what we recommend you do, is just come on in here and click this quick pricer, and it will take you to our interface with our pricing engine partner, Poly. In order to get a quick pricer, we just need about 6 or 7 pieces of information. What your product type is, if fixed, if you're pricing an ARM, it's available here. You click that drop down. Anything with the square box or the little red asterisk is a requirement that we do need. So if you go in here and just say, okay, I got a 450, and you can put your LTV, all your numbers calculate. Really all we need is your state and zip code, your property type. I do want to talk about the income for just a second, especially on your conventional loans. We do ask for the income because there are some programs that offer some pricing benefits on your loan level pricing adjustment. So very important you enter this in here for us. So I'm going to throw in a number real quick just to price it. And if you're going borrower or lender paid, and this fee buyout is if you'd like to buy out your underwriting fee or your MFS fee with us. And able to get your pricing, and you'll be able to get your pricing right there on the page. You do not need to upload a file to us. All you've got to be able to do is a quick pricer. So I'm going to go back to our welcome page, and we're going to add a new loan to our system. So up here at the top, you'll see add new loan. You're going to click on that, and it's going to open up kind of information we need. Who is the loan officer? So depending on how many loan officers are in your office, you'll be able to select. In this case, this is my test account. I only have one loan officer, and your processor would be assigned. If you're not seeing your processor or your contract processor, if you utilize that service in the dropdown, all you've got to do is just shoot an email over to your account executive, and they can get you added and set up. So I'm going to hit save. So it's put in the system our contacts. I'm going to hit next. And this is where we have the ability to, how do we get your file to us? The first by default is uploading a 3.4 file. That's probably the most common way. 9 out of 10 come in that way. If you are needing to manually enter it for whatever reason, you can hit manually enter and recreate your ERLA within the system. Or the last option is if you ran your own DO and you put it into a final status to Mortgage Financial, you could put your case file ID and it will grab the file from Fannie Mae and import it. For training, we're going to do the most common, which is the Fannie Mae 3.4. So I'm going to come in here and grab my 3.4, and I'm using one of the Fannie Mae's test files that we have access to. So I've grabbed it from my local drive, and I'm going to go to our loan registration form. This will open up to start on the loan within the registration. Give it just a second here. So once it loads and it pulls in your file, it's going to bring you to this screen where it has your borrower's information. As you can see, it does mask your Social Security number of your borrower, so that's not visible. If you needed to confirm it, you could click the little eyeball right here and it will display it. I'm going to change the zip code to a Texas zip code on our test file, just so that way I don't get a we're not licensed in this state error in a minute. But right here, you can confirm your property types. You can also number of units. Down here, you can put it in the FICO if you want just to kind of put the file in the system for pricing or what ifs. If you're doing any type of streamline refinanced, an FHA streamline or a VA EARL, you can indicate it here that it's a streamline refinanced. By default, it is blank, which is acceptable. It will pull in as a full document file for us. Right here is your LO compensation. that you can indicate to us if this is a borrower paid or lender paid. What is your intention with the file? Till the loan is locked, of course, you can make a change, and if you want to buy out the underwriting fee. So I'm going to create our new loan. And once we create the new loan, you're going to get a loan number with Mortgage Financial. Just so that way you know. So when you get to the screen and you see that we have a loan number, you can navigate throughout the file, and anybody at the MFS team can access your file. So on the left-hand side is kind of the expected flow of what we have going on with our system, okay? First thing is your IRLA. If you hit this little arrow here, it opens up. And if you see anything with a red explanation to the side, that means that there's important data missing. And so if you click on that, scroll down, you'll notice this is highlighted in orange as a deal. Mortgage Financial, we're extremely proud to be the only wholesale lender that has offered TDHCA and TSHAC to the broker community and the wholesale community. With that being said, this is how you indicate that you want to take advantage of that TSHAC or TDHCA transaction. And you hit yes, and we have a dedicated full-time bond review team that will help you structure the file, make sure that you meet all of the agency and bond guidelines that are needed. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and say no. And there's some additional questions here. If you're doing a VA IRL, here's some of your original questions. And then I'm going to hit save. And this right here has built our IRLA. For the sake of our training call, we're going to say that, hey, I have confirmed my 1003 is correct. But you can come in here, go through the application, make sure that you need to add anything. I do recommend you go to your lender and just check, make sure that all your credits have came in accordingly. And also right here that your hazard insurance pulled in correctly. Sometimes these XMLs do not pull everything over, but here's a good spot to check. For example, I'm going to say this is a seller credit on this transaction of $1,000, and I'm going to go ahead and make $1,500, make that change here. You noticed as you tab out, it kind of refreshes and saves. If you were to try to navigate and just hit save, you will save. Next step within the flow of what is expected that we would want to see is the ability to reissue your credit and run AUS within our system. We do run Fannie Mae and LP, so we run DU and LP at the same time. Just to ensure that we have the best execution, and that way we're able to see if there is a reps and warrants on your appraisal or anything that would come in. I'm going to go ahead and hit order underwriting, and it's going to pull up the screen to where you would reissue your credit. And again, it's giving us a little notice right here that you must order credit before we can do this. So right here is the list of our approved credit for vendors. We've got roughly about 58 to 60 of them. So you can go through, pick your credit. And for our training, I'm using factual data. And because this is a test account, I'm actually going to order. So you can order a new report on our website, or you can hit reissue and put your reference number. Then you would indicate if it's a merged, a pre, or a pre-qual type credit report. So for our training day, we're doing a merged. And I am going to order a new credit report. So I'm going to go ahead, order my password, and I'm just going to make sure the most current password is saved in here. As a reminder, this is your password to your credit vendor. So if you use Exactus, if you use Partners, you would indicate your credit password in here. We don't see this password. It's only available to you as you're logged in. And then we're going to pull this credit real quick, and I'm going to let it process for just 1 second. And because we're using a Kin customer, it takes just a little bit longer than average because it's having to regenerate data every time. So once it pulls, you will get the green checkbox that it has successfully done this. And next, I'm going to hit next. and it's going to take us to the screen that we are going to run DU and LP at the same time. For your very first time, you do need to enter your DU credit credentials here. Again, these are the same ones that you get from your credit agencies. I do want to point out that if you go to your factual data, there are a couple credit vendors that are listed in a couple systems. So if you have an issue, just reach out to your account executive and we can help you with that. For your property, LP does require us to re-verify the property here. So we're just going to do a single family detached. And you notice it's got the red star, and we're going to order underwriting. System's going to run your DU and LP at the same time. So that way we're able to have both executions within our file. We do this on all programs, conventional, FHA, and VA. On conventional, once this runs, you do have the ability to communicate to us that, hey, I want to stay LP because maybe the student loan calculation or rental calculations is a tad different. So we're going to give that just a second to populate for us. Give it just a second here. Again, during the call, if you have any questions or comments, just please indicate them in the chat box and we will be monitoring them. And I will have some times at the end going over that. All right, so we have successfully ran both. I've got a green check mark for my DU and my Freddie Mac. If the file was to come in with an appraisal waiver, you would have a green check box here. You can view your AUS findings by clicking on the PDF, and they will open up for you. So if you wanted to see your findings, just click on that. It brings them up for you to run and to view. Up here at the top, if you just say this has to stay Freddie Mac for whatever reason, indicate that by checking that right here and add it to your cover letter for us that, hey, this needs to go Freddie Mac. I'm using their student loan calculation versus the Fannie Mae. So now that we have confirmed our loan application, we've done our credit and dual AUS, next step is to go ahead and do our product and pricing. Even if you are not ready to lock the loan, we do recommend you go ahead and run your product and pricing because this will populate your expectation for your compensation and if you want the lender fee buyout part of it. Biggest difference here is it does auto-populate. And I do want to point out, if you're trying to price this on the 2026 loan amounts, if you hit this drop down to 2026, you will get that expanded loan amount pricing. As you can see, it brought everything in for us that we need, that I'm saying we're going LP, populated it. Only thing you've got to answer at this time, if you're going to do lender or borrower paid, and are you wanting your borrower to buy out the underwriting fee or not? I would just remind everyone, all of our loans have to pass the qualified mortgage test. So if you have a higher lender paid comp, you might as well price it without that underwriting fee up front, or you'll get an email from the lock desk saying, hey, we need to revisit. So I'm going to go lender fee, buy it out. I'm going to get our pricing. And from here, you can request a lock. You can float it. And for today's call, I am going to just float it. And I'm going to go, okay, I've got a point to play with seller concessions. So I'm going to go 6.875. I'm going to request, and I'm going to float. So that way it pushes back the product to our system. It will update everything based off of your float. And it just lets you know that you have floated it. And from here, the only difference is to request it. You just request the lock. I do want to point out, for the lock to completely process, we do need you to jump out of the file where our lock desk can accept and process your lock. Next step within the file is to do the title company fees. We utilize a third-party system to auto-populate our title fees. We use a national title company for the initial disclosures. So that way we are never having a tolerance issue and you're not having to go look up every title company. So go to request title fees and you're just going to hit easy order. And the system is going to automatically process our title fees. And this status up here will update for you Usually takes about 30 to 45 seconds. You can refresh your screen right here, and it will update the status as well. And let's see, response received. So it's almost there. And once it processes, you'll be able to view it right here. While that processes, I'm going to go ahead and jump over to our loan estimate fee sheet, and we're going to dive into it. And let me go in here. So from here, you got right here, you can do request title fees as well. So if you skip that step, you're totally fine. You can click right here. From here, we're going to go into the LE. Excuse me. So box A is your origination charges. This is any fee that is paid basically to us, the lender, mortgage financial services, or borrower paid compensation. I have not locked this loan, so everything is still open. I do want to talk about the processing fee in box A. If you are going lender paid compensation, you can never have a processing fee in this section, okay? You can only have your lender paid compensation. If you're going borrower paid and your processor is an in-house processor, they're paid by Kelly Haney Brokerage is paying my processor, then you can indicate it here. If your processor is a contract processor and at closing on the final CD, it says contract processing to world's best processor LLC.com, it always goes right here in box B, okay? So if you're going borrower paid compensation, the last thing that our team ever wants to do is guess what you want to make as your revenue. We're not going to assume that you're pricing it with a lender credit. That's what you want to charge as borrower paid. So you always have to come in here and tell us, man, I got to go borrower paid. I'm going to do a 2% fee up front. This loan, I'm not going to have a discount because of the way we're going. Very, very important. You indicate to us how you want to be paid on borrower compensation. Your next section is your section B. These are the vendors that the borrower does not get a choice in. This would be your appraisal, your credit report, them kind of fees. So in this case, I will let everybody know we default $1,000 to the system. However, you as the broker have the ability to change that. So if you know your market is a $700 appraisal, you just make that change right here. You do want to get reimbursed for your credit. We will let you charge what's on the invoice. You cannot charge anything greater than that. And it's always better to estimate this a little higher than lower because this is you cannot increase this fee. So I got my email from my credit agency. I know my cost went up. I think everybody on the call got that email. So I'm going to update to 150. I do utilize a contract processor, so I'm going to indicate their fee here. By default, we do disclose a final inspection fee, okay? However, again, I want to stress, if you know that this house is not going to need it, you have the ability to remove this. And verification fees. If you are wanting to charge for your verification of employment fee or any other verifications, you can indicate this right here. I do want to stress that this has to be indicated at the initial LE. We cannot add a verification after the initial LE. That is not a valid COC, change of circumstance. So in our case, I'm going to go $50. The Texas warranty doc prep fee, deed prep, and the doc fee, these are set by us. And you cannot change these. It will act like it lets you change it. For example, I'm going to change this to 125. Once you hit save and the system starts to process, it's going to auto-populate back in our standard fees. This is what we pay our doc prep attorney to be able to draw the docs accordingly to the state law. Our examples in Texas, so these are the fees for Texas. So as we discussed a few seconds ago, is we ordered our vendor that populates in our title fees. So it has populated everything that we need for our title fees. My recommendation to everybody is do not change these. They are guaranteeing these fees, and therefore there will be no tolerance cures that we would hold anybody responsible for. I do want to note is you as the wholesale partner and broker partners make a change to this, and there's a cost to cure that is hit to you as the broker because you made that change. So I'm going to leave it the same. I'm going to come in here and see, oh, we got 2 survey fees. This is something that came to my attention, and we will get that fixed. So I'm going to take one off because I know we don't need both. Same thing with your survey. If you know you have a survey and you don't need to charge it, we're okay with you taking that off, just understanding if it's needed, all compliance must be met of a change of circumstance within the time period as well. Right here is your taxes and insurance, your recording fees. If you're doing a property in Florida, and I believe Arkansas, and a couple of states that have that tax stamps, our vendor will auto-populate that for you, so you don't have to worry about that. Next is your prepaids. If you enter that closing date within the file, it will auto-populate this for you. I'm going to do 15 days for our training. Also, check my insurance. Man, I know my insurance is going to be a little bit higher. You can make that adjustment right here, and it will populate into everything that you need. By default, we do everything at 3 and 3 for your initial disclosure statement. So we're going to collect 3 months of insurance, 3 months of properties, taxes. Next is your H. This is your other. Most common things that we see here is going to be HOA fees or a temporary buy down. Okay. We do have one option for a free form. So if it's not in the list, you can type that. For today's column and go, we have an HOA fee. So if I go down to HOA, I'm going to add my HOA dues. So I've now indicated all of my fees that I want charged. And up here at the top, I recommend you hit save real quick. And you're going to hit request loan estimate. By clicking the request loan estimate, it goes to our team as on their task list for the day to get your loan estimate out. So by collecting, hitting request LE, this then will tell you that I have verified all of my processing fee, verification, credit, all of my fees have been verified. So I'm going to hit continue. And now it has indicated in our system that it is due for the LE to go out. And this is how we know your file is a live, active file with MFS. You notice now this is grayed out because it's waiting for our queue. Next, in kind of the flow of the file, is to upload our file. So when you go into the file at the initial underwriting stage, you're going to see just a couple options. What we would like you to do is for your initial submission is upload it into this file. The initial submission upload. And you can drag or drop, or you can click this little browse for files, and you can go into your system. What we do ask that you do is break it out for us. So kind of, it takes a little bit longer if you give us a big package. So if you have all your income, put them into it as placeholders, and it pulls over to our system. When you're uploading, make sure you do the completed, that you get this little green check mark right here. You can upload as many files as you want. So if you wanted to come grab, let's say you wanted to grab, all of these PDFs at once, you can highlight more than one, hit open. Just make sure when they come in here that it does upload and goes to green and that it has been done. So I've uploaded everything in my file. It's now ready for it to submit to Mortgage Financial. So I want to talk about what does submit loan mean to MFS. What this means is that you're submitting it to our team of wholesale processors, okay, that are going to do a review of your file, package it up to go to the underwriter. By hitting submit, it does not go directly to an underwriting queue. Like I said, we have an in-house team that reviews it to ensure that you have our minimum standards prior to going to our underwriter. So I hit submit and I was missing a field. So prior to submitting the loan, we want to know when your close date is. So you notice during this, I did not enter that. So I'm gonna go, oh man, you're right, I forgot to do it. You can free type it or click the calendar. And I'm gonna go, I wanna do January 15th. So I'm gonna hit save, excuse me. And then it's saying it's saved. But if you notice, this little confirm button is still available and your submit status has not changed. So you added the piece that was missing. And now we're going to go, okay, now I need to send this into my team. You're going to hit confirm. And what it's going to do is say success, and your status changed to submitted right here, and that your initial submit date updated. Okay. So this then will go to our queue here at MFS for us to work on the file. One thing that I want to ask everybody on the call within the portal, when you are done working, apologize, I'm going to add our conditions to this file and show you how that does it, is when you're done with the file and you're going to go work on another file or go do another task, please, 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 please do not click this X at the top, because then it kind of says you're still in the file, and then we're going, hey, Kelly Yellow, hey man, we need to get in your file. Man, I left to a lunch appointment. Now, we can kick you out. We just don't like doing that. Just make sure you click on welcome, and it will take you back to this homepage. And at this point, the file opens up on our side, because only one file at a time can be in the file at a time. So I'm going to add our conditions in here just to show you how to navigate the conditions. So give me just a second to do that. And I'm adding them on our side Encompass that we utilize on the other side of the system. So I'm going to add that right here. And again, as I said, because it's a recently accessed loan, you can get right here. So if you ever go into a loan and you see this orange bar right here at the top, that's an indicator that somebody on the MFS team is working on your file. Could be the underwriter, it could be our wholesale team, it could be our log desk, it could be anybody. So if you see that, you only have access to view the file, you can't make any changes. So I'm going to go back to our home screen, and I'm going to go back into the loan. And let's say this loan's been around a little while, it's been through the system, and now we are going to view our credit and view our conditions. My underwriters view it. So we kind of went through the steps, and we go to conditions. And from here, you can see that the underwriter has approved it. We have a 20-minute underwriting time in this case, but you can see the underwriter has done it. You can sort this by the prior to docs, which is what we need cleared prior to going to our closing department, and anything at funding. All you've got to be able to do is open this up. It tells you, explanation letter for credit. You'll be able to see exactly what you need, okay? And from here, you can be able to navigate, see your conditions. But when it comes down to sending us conditions, what we prefer that you do is in your document section right here is drag them into the all conditions bucket. So if you're going to upload a condition, we're going to grab that, upload it into here. And then you can add comments for our team right here. say you want to add that and say, pay stub was off work, one day. You can add notes to it, hit add comment, and then our team can see it on our back end. Once you have everything in your file, you've uploaded your conditions, or you want the file to go back to our underwriter to review. Maybe we're waiting on the appraisal, or there's a critical doc that you need our underwriters to review. What you will do is come right here into this resubordination and hit confirm, and it will update to our system that you have sent the file back. And then our team will go grab the most recent documents and add it to the file and get it back to the appropriate department to clear. Okay. If you have documents that we have disclosed on and that you need to sign, within the loan over here on the left-hand side, you do see where it says e-sign. And it will be populated here. I don't have a file to actually sign, but if you have any issues, reach out to your account executive, but right here. If you want to check if your disclosures have been out, you could come here to disclosure tracking. And what it does is tell you what is our application date, when the LE is due. And then once an LE has been sent, you will see that the date has been here. You as a broker also have access to the documents at all times. So if you go back to your documents, you see the placeholders that are here. But if you come in and let's say you want to look at, man, I swore I gave this to them. You could come in here and view the document. And anything with the little arrow knows there's docs there, okay? So let me go. If you want to look at your credit report, for example, you can come in here and click on it. You have access to your files as long as you have access to our system. So if you need to look it up for a client down the road, you have that ability. You have got your file initially approved. You have your minimum documentation, and we are ready to request that initial CD. Here at Mortgage Financial, to get out the initial CD is we're looking for the initial approval. The loan is locked. The appraisal is in. Is kind of your key components. On your normal transaction, bond loans are a different circumstance, and we'll be doing some additional webinars on the bond flow and bond process to explain that in the future. But if you're ready to request the CD, if you go over here to the left and you open this up, down here at the bottom is your request. And you can say, man, okay, I know this is closing on the 19th and it's a purchase, it's going to fund. And this is very important. So if you have any notes for us, say it's a seller mail out, need docs 48 hours in advance, you can communicate right here on this screen that you can just let us know. You hit the save button and it goes to our in-house wholesale processing team to validate, to ensure that we have everything that we need to get an accurate CD out. We understand it's not the final CD, but we do want it to be as accurate as we possibly can. In the event that a file is having to be canceled for whatever reason, and you need to withdraw it, over here on the left-hand side, you would go to request loan withdrawal. And it's going to automatically populate up. It says, are you sure you want to withdraw this loan at this time? I do want to caution everybody on the call. Please, 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 2000% confirm you want us to cancel this loan. Because once we cancel the loan, we have to restart it. If they come back alive, you canceled it today on the 10th. Tomorrow you get the call, hey, we got the contract resolved, we're moving forward. Because we have already adversed it, we would have to start your file over. And if you had locked the loan, as soon as you withdraw your file, your lock is canceled at the same time, and then you'll be subject to the relock policy and a relock fee. So just make sure before you actually do cancel it that you are confirming that you need to cancel it. All right, I'm going to pause. I got a couple questions in the Q&A session. First one is, will we have access to the recorded copy of this? Yes, we will be sending this out to everybody once the, probably by the end of the day, worst case tomorrow, a recorded copy of this. So, question is, if a survey is POC and we mark it on the LE, will it come into play on the fees charged when you run it for final CD? So by default, it is going to show on your LE as a actual fee. Once we confirm that it has been paid and that the funds used to pay meet the guidelines, we will mark it as a POC for your cash to close and AUS and the CDs. Hopefully, if that doesn't answer, just throw another Q&A in there for me. Can you show us how to price a VA URL? Absolutely. So what I'm going to do is I'm done with this file, and I'm going to jump out. As a reminder, I'm going to go to the welcome page, and I'm going to go into our quick pricer to price it. So I'm going to open this up for everybody. Give it just a second here. So I'm going to do a VA 30-year fixed. And this process is the same for the FHA Streamline as well. First thing, make sure you have it as a no cash out. And on a VA URL and a Streamline, no cash out. I'm going to put my loan amount here. And I've got the LTV. I'm doing a first lien. Couple things on the Streamline and or the URLs. On your AUS, change it to not specified. And right here, is it a Streamline? You're going to say yes. And utilize that for a VA URL and a FHA Streamline. All right, we're going to go Texas. Grab us a county, single family occupancy primary. And on these Streamline URLs, you can leave your income blank at 0. I'm going to do borrower paid, yes. Again, if it's a VA, you can indicate here questions. So we're just going to leave it first use. It's going to calculate, and I'm going to hit get pricing. When pricing a VA URL and or Streamline, when you're doing the pricing, your product code will say URL. So right here, you can see what your pricing is on that. Only difference, obviously, on an FHA is when you're in your products section over here, you would just indicate FHA. I'll show you what that looks like as well. So same concept, no cash out, not specified, Streamline yes, and I'm going to buy it out. And when you do your processing, it's going to indicate Streamline in your product name. So if you see the URL or Streamline, you know you have done it correctly. All right. I'm going to pause here. And does anyone have any other questions for us? All right. Well, I do want to tell everybody thank you for jumping on. With the exception of our internal MFS teams on the call, I have we're going to do a random drawing of a $25 Amazon gift card that I will be emailing out to you for joining and taking time out of your day to jump on our webinar. And the random lucky winner is going to be Linda Love. So Linda, congratulations. I will be emailing that out to you in the next 48 hours max. And go back in here. Does anybody have any questions before we knock this down? All right. Well, in that case, I'm going to give you your about 15 minutes back. We do thank you for being a value partner of Mortgage Financial Services TPO team. We will be doing more of these webinars going into 2026. If there is a specific topic or conversation you would like to see, please let your account executive know. They will get with me as kind of one of the trainers within the organization, and we will get an event set up. Again, we thank everybody for your call, for your business, your partnership, and happy holidays to everybody. And if you need anything, please let us know. Have a fantastic rest of your day.